Hello everybody, welcome to the second presentation by the first lesson of the Easy Digest sequels, the page that you are to witness about in no longer time. And so you are with me, Sir Moses Chwaya, your usual tutor. Today's topic concerns about the definition of the term literature. Why do we study literature? And so we'll try magnifying the difference between the literary elements, literary devices, and figures of speech. On definition, to define or to give us the meaning of the word literature is somewhat a crucial task, but a possible one. For it is a complex topic that invites different views and debates as well. So pay attention that whenever even a needle falling down, your ear should detect its sound. Here I begin saying literature in its broadest sense refers to any written work. Etymologically, the term derives from Latin called literatura, which means writing formed from letters. You know, other writing systems can be diagrammatic in nature, the use of symbols as well as numerical. Once I call an etymology of the word, spelled etymology, here I mean the history of the word. Prove me wrong also if you don't have some examples of names in your head, either in our local languages, even in Chichewa. Those labels background may appear to outsource certain interests or normally, when heard for the first time, put us in questions. I too have many illustrations, but I'll give you two. For example, here in Njinji we have a place called Kochirira. The premise is one of the rural government-funded hospitals that complements the district one. About the grade which it falls or grouped into, you go searching by yourself, if I do not mind joking. Only to speak a bit about the background of the stated noun, I mean you will find with the locals there that the term Kochirira in senses refers to Malo, Kochirira, and to Akate. Indeed, in those past days, Repros patients were camped there just for quarantine and treatment processes. Oh, here I pause. What about Ndilande, one of the popular municipality town in the city of Blantyre, Malawi? Actually, we mispronounce the name, for on historical basis, with the concern of bribery, thugs, thieving, and robbery, which is generally common too in other towns, but the name sensed Ndatenga Ichicho Ndilande. Or I reserve my comment back and leave you in suspense there. We are still on a point urging that everything written is a literature. That means this book is a literature. Physics book, literature again. Literatures, and so to sum up all these literatures. Moving in the same container of the definition, I was thinking again about those informal notes you used sending to each other. A boy and a girl whilst you were in Form 3.
How are you? Thank you, sir. You are most welcome. In last topic, I promised that I'll bring you the book of Peter. This is the note I was talking about. So in today's topic, we'll begin reading this book. What's that?
You are my oxygen.
Should we group this as a platform of a literature? Deliberately right, and we must. Though this I stimulate a debatable subject. Now, before I break out the actual critical debate that normally arises on when defining the term literature, which but can't be managed, now end by you, an MSCE student, as well as me, your teacher. I declare also that traditionally the term has been applied or used to refer those imaginative works, such as of poetry, prose, short stories, novels, and plays. Eventually, in the following sequels, our concentration dwells on this understanding. So rightly, I confirm whether in the first or second way of perceiving the subject's meaning, the expert soul of intelligence remains to meet here. where there is an exception of those writings that are primarily informative, scholarly, and journalistic, such as travelogues, memoirs, business letters, and others, would all be excluded from the rank of literature by most, though not all, critics. Reaching so far and focusing on these creative works of poetry, novels, plays, and short stories, let's try to make the difference between or amongst the terms called literary elements, literary devices, and figuratives as well. On literary elements and literary devices, you will find that these are both useful storytelling components that guides and shapes a story. The only difference is that literary elements are essential and literary devices are optional. The literary elements are foundations of the story, like plot, setting, characters, and others. For we can't have a story or experience a story written without these. Now, figures of speech versus literary devices. Both phrases also refers to a set of tools and techniques writers use to add freshness to their writings. Freshness here, I mean to make the work more beautiful and so interesting. Literary devices found to be a broader category of literary and linguistic techniques. These devices include elements of language, structure, style, and narratives as well. Figures of speech, on the other hand, being the subset of literary devices, they primarily involve the use of language in non-literal ways. Thus to say, figures of speech is just the way of speaking, in this case, writing. That is a figurative rather than literal. A figure of speech can be a phrase, a word, or an expression having a different meaning than literal. Literal definition there, I meant the direct meaning, and so for non-literal, you suggest. Examples of figures of speech include metaphors, similes, iron, personification, synagogue, and consonants. Finally, allow me now also to outline you the importance of learning literature in schools. Why do we study literature? It is a fact that literature provides a mode of language to those who hear it and read it. Students learn new words, syntax, discourse functions, and also they collect sentence patterns and standard story structure. And really then, they develop in a common writing and speaking skills for every kind of composition. I hope we are communicating, aren't we? The subject also instills in students a more practical analytical skills and arts for creative works, found to be a valuable tool for developing critical thinking skills, empathy, and creativity in education. It is also seen very assisting when they are engaged into such competitions of those imaginative works of poems, short stories, and others. Noted, students also learn to develop a sense of moral codes and understanding of the world. Exposure to non-standard skills, forms, and genres of literature may mislead them. But good selected books that are recommended in each curriculum season suit for these malariantes. Can this continue to mold their behavior while in secondary schools and demonstrated hereafter? Literature also holds a prominent role in children's personal development. This has confirmed a positive impact since a reader becomes emotionally attached with the story. No wonder that literature guides how to achieve a human versus nature conflict. By reading struggles and triumphs of others, we learn how others think, how others feel, and live. This can help us become more empathetic. Wow, I cannot fail also to appreciate the other contribution of literature to their prospecting careers. Literature complexities and its mode of expressions enables lawyers to understand psychological complexities and convey them into judges and juries in a manner that emphasizes human dignity of their clients. Think also about those analytical and investigative journalists, or both they require concepts of literature. I have just listed a few. Thanks for being together. Let's meet to the comment section for more questions and observation.